Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and I hope everyone is doing well. So from the time lapse, you see me unboxing this bad boy right here. So yes, we are working on my boy Bruce today, my 2016 Ram Sport, and what we have on the agenda today is this oil catch can. The reason why I picked this one right here has a pretty awesome Z bracket, so it can be mounted to the block. I'm going to show you that a little bit later. I'm going to list this in the description of the video. Got it from eBay. I think I paid around 48 bucks for it or whatever. But you can get them anywhere from like around 45 to $55. Obviously, you got to include tax in there. As I said, it will be in the link in the description. So now, why is a catch can important? This one right here is not the most complicated piece. It's very simple. This one right here, expensive as well as complicated. So you can have catch cans ranging from anywhere from, actually on Amazon you can get it for like $25. So from $25 to anywhere upwards of $400. But their function is pretty much the same. Some might be a little more savvy, but hey. Now, for a quick lesson, the reason why you get an oil catch can or an air oil separator, as it's called, is to pretty much separate air and oil. Now you might be asking, well, how come you need to separate that? So when you start your car on that cold start and the car is revving at a higher RPM than on the normal idle, what happens is your piston is moving up and down. Around your piston you have rings. The rings is moving against the cylinder wall. That is the reason why, guys, definitely don't cheap out. That's why I use AMSOIL, the best oil you can get. What does oil do? Clean, cool, lubricate, and seal. So now if you have an oil with a good film strength, the rings are rubbing against the cylinder wall with that oil, sealing the compression cycle of the motor. The compression cycle is right before you make that, is what helps you make that power. So what ends up happening is when the car is on the load or on that cold start, what ends up happening is air fuel mixture can get past those rings, which is called blow-by. I'm sure you guys heard that before, or most of you have heard it. And what blow-by does, when it gets past the rings, it gets into the crankcase, which increases crankcase pressure, which is not a good thing. So the car is like, oh my God, no, we have extra pressure in here, what are we gonna do? So that's why manufacturers create a PCV system, which stands for positive crankcase ventilation. So it tries to vent that excess pressure. It will vent the excess pressure from in the back, from where the crankcase is, back into the intake system to be used. But the issue with that is, along with the air fuel mixture that is circulating back into the intake system, there's also oil vapor being circulated as well. What happens to vapor when it cools, guys? It turns into a liquid. And that's where the problem is. So now you have liquid building up in a place where it should only be air. And that's where the problem lies. So what this essentially does, it takes the vapor, it takes that air fuel mixture and the oil vapor, and it separates it. That's why you have this like scouring pad in here. So what it does, it traps that vapor, helps trap the vapor and then leak the oil into the can right here. And that's essentially how it works. And it's definitely something that will lengthen the life of your engine. And I would recommend that to anybody. And don't get me wrong, like this over here, that's the IAG Street Series. Yes, it costs $400 and it doesn't give you any bump in power, but it definitely saves the heart of your car, which is the motor. All right, guys, it's a pretty nice piece made of aluminum to give you everything that you need. As I said, your Z bracket. This is pretty nifty where you don't have to unscrew the whole can in order to drain the oil. You can just drain it from this valve. They give you your fuel hoses. There's a short one and a long one, and all the fittings and adapters that you need. What we're going to be doing, I'm going to have to take off this air box right here as well, the intake hose, disconnect the MAP sensor, and take off the engine cover in order to get what we're going to look at. All right, guys, so as I said before, they give you everything that you need, the long and the short hose. You can. Guys, remember, there's a gasket right here. If it falls off, it looks loose, you put it in here first before you screw this in. These two fittings right here are getting screwed onto the sides of the catch can. I'm going to be using Teflon tape, guys. Always use some Teflon tape to prevent any leaks. These barbed fittings right here, that can go obviously onto the ends of the hoses to have a nice tight fit. They have spacers right here. I already ran one spacer in between this bolt, so you have pretty much, the bolt is not too long for when the Z bracket goes on the head. Now once you finish, the catch can goes, so the Z bracket is going to be bolted into the head like this, and then the catch can is going to be standing right here on the side. So I am going to show you now. These right here, they give you some stuff to put on the ends of the hoses to make it look nice. So we're going to run through it and show you how it's done. Okay folks, so this is the basic makeup of it right here. It's very simple. Once you put the thread seal or the Teflon tape in, it's going to be, you know, a little challenging to screw in. You know, use a wrench or whatnot over here. Just get it a good couple threads in, and it's going to be very, very tight. Now, there's thread seal here, or Teflon, Teflon, Teflon. Guys, please do not let Teflon tape go into the catch can. Also, before you put this piece in right here, this cylinder, so picture this Z bracket off, this cylinder has to be screwed onto the head of the catch can. There's a 5/32 small Allen bolt. You use your 5/32 to screw this portion into here, and then afterwards you put the Z bracket on and use a 5/16 Allen bolt to tighten this down. So now all we got to do now, as I said before, we got to take off the intake, the IAT sensor, and the cover. So here we go. All right guys, so this right here, this hard line right here is the PCV line. So we're just gonna pop this off. Could actually pop out the whole, they just usually want you to pop out the hard line where you can put the barb fitting right here, but I'm gonna just pop off this whole piece right here. Just like so. Damn. Just like so. So you can leave that rubber piece right here since it's straight. And now we're just going to be putting the hose, the bare hose right on here, which will be perfect. All right guys, so to make this a really, really simple install, you have this port right here which goes back into the intake system. That line right here, it attaches to here. So this is the out and this is the in. So you can't see it, but the hose from the crankcase from on top of the intake manifold, that is going to be routed to here. It gets filtered on this side. This is the side right here with the like this, that dishwashing scouring pad or whatever to catch those oil vapors. And then it goes down and out from here into the intake system. So real simple to make this really easy. You take one of these, attach it right here. Once you attach that right there, you can attach this side right here in here because he already has a barb. So you take the barb, put it in here, attach that in there. Now you might have to cut the hose. Let's see. No, that's perfect. It's a good fit. You could just slightly rock this. You could either, yeah, that should be fine. That should be fine. It's actually perpendicular to the block, so it's fine. Yeah, that's good. And once you have that done, this line right here attaches to the further line inside on the intake manifold. Some good hose they give you too. All right guys, so this connection to here, it just looked a little loose. I know it wasn't, so I took one of these. They send you these nifty rings right here. This goes to the end of the fuel line like so. It's a little bit of a biatch to get in, but once it gets in, it's a really tight fit. So I put it on this side. I'm just trying to work the hose in. It's super tight now. All right, we good to go. Shit was hard to get in there. All right guys, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here, but I'm using my torque wrench to torque it down, but I have it attached to that nifty wrench extension. So now I'm torquing it down to about 22 foot-pounds. There you go. This is the wrench extension right here. So as when you move right here, this moves. It works with like a chain system on the inside of it. So it's pretty good in hard to reach places. All right fam, so once you put everything back the exact way that you found it, this is the end product right here. Shit looks freaking fantastic. Fantastic. That's what I'm talking about right here. If you notice on this side, as I told you right there, I put this silver ring on there because the fit was a little bit, I don't know, just to me it just didn't look right. But this one here is super tight, and honestly it don't make sense in me freaking wasting energy to struggle to get that shit in. Let me tell you, it is hard to get in, but the fit is tight. Everything is back together. Guys, don't forget to plug back in your IET sensor. And again, definitely like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. Hey guys, so while I was making that, my SD card went to over capacity, so the video stopped. But anyway, this is approximately 4 weeks since I've done the install on this catch can, and this is what's in here after 4 weeks. And let me tell you, it smells like high on fuel. Obviously, as I told you, that's what freaking blow by is. Obviously you have an air fuel mixture getting past your rings, getting into your crankcase and vented, but then also what happens is you got oil vapor in there too. So you got fuel and oil mixed in here, nice and condensed, but it's not as much as some people's cars would be blowing out, you know what I'm saying? But guess what, this stuff is the stuff that's getting into your intake where only air is supposed to be. So this is what I mean. Little investment goes a long way. Listen, for 45 to 50 bucks, you can't go wrong. And you have an awesome freaking little drain valve here to freaking drain the oil. I would check it every so often. You know what I mean? As I said, blow by is something that happens with all cars. It definitely helps the situation, dependent if you're using some good oil. As I told you, that's the reason why I use the best. I use AMS oil in here. But every car has blow by. It all depends on how much. You know what I'm saying? And anything you can to do to prevent it from going into your intake system, definitely do it. Look, this is a small investment for a big reward. Just like this one right here. Small investment for a big reward, which is literally saving the life of your motor. Your motor can't run when there's freaking oil gumming up inside where air is supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, guys, glad you guys can hang out with me today, and I will talk to y'all soon. And by the way, don't forget, don't overdo it on that bolt on the block. Please do not overdo it, or you crack the head. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'll see y'all soon. Peace.